Okay, so welcome to lesson 40, absolute value equations. Here's our objective. Okay, so I do want to point this out that this is important. When we solve absolute value equations, we're going to solve two separate equations, and you'll see that as we do our examples. Okay, so let's look at this. You have to solve t minus 55 equals positive 8, and then t minus 55 equals negative 8, because you're adding 55 to both sides, and then now t equals 63, and when you add 55 to both sides, t will now be 43. 47. Okay, so let's do the check. And this is going to be one time I'm doing a check. So if we take 63 and subtract 55, and we see that equal to 8. So 63 minus 55 is 8, and 8 equals 8. Okay, so now watch when we put it in here. If we do 47 minus 55, we get negative 8. And we know that the absolute value of a number is 8. So it works out. So when you solve these, you're always going to have two possible answers. So be aware of that. Okay, so here we have a multi-step problem. This 5 is outside of the absolute value, so we're just going to divide everything by 5 to get rid of it. And now we're going to rewrite h over 5 minus 3 is equal to 7. So we're going to solve this. H over 5 minus 3 is equal to 7. We're going to add 3 and then add 3. And we have h over 5 equal to 10. Then we're going to multiply by 5 and multiply by 5. And h is going to be 50. So 50 divided by 5 and I'm mentally plugging it back in. 50 divided by 5 is 10, minus 3 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35, so that works. Now, conversely, let's work on h over 5 minus 3 is equal to negative 7. So when we add 3 to both sides, we get h over 5 equal to negative 4. Multiplying by 5 on both sides, h is equal to negative 20. So now if I stick negative 20 back in, negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 7 is minus 3 is negative 7. The absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7 times 5 is 35. So it all works. So I wanted to stress that with two examples, that you're going to, when you have absolute value, there are two possible answers. And so you're going to have to check and make sure that both answers, that you get two answers and that both of them work. Okay, so those were our two examples. I will see you at the end of the video for the recap. Okay, so let's look at this. We have 2w plus 6 minus the absolute value of 2w plus 6 minus 3 equals 7. So, before we do anything, we got to get rid of the 3. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. Now we get 2w plus 6 equals 10. Now this is the equation we solve. We look for 2w plus 6 equals 10. And then 2w plus 6 equals negative 10. So let's solve the one on the left first. Subtract 6 from both sides. 2w equals 4. Divide by 2. W equals 2. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10. 10 minus 3 becomes 7, so that works. So let's try 2w plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. 2w equals 4. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Oh, that's negative 10. Okay. I'm moving too fast for myself here. I knew something looked kind of weird. And sometimes you just got to slow down. So, I'm sorry, negative 10 minus 6 is negative 16. We're dividing by 2 on both sides. And w equals negative 8. So let's see if negative 8 works. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 6 is negative 10. The absolute value of negative 10 is 10 minus 3. Okay, so it works. So our two answers are there. And let's look at our next problem. Okay, so let's do a little math here. So the first thing we're going to do is add 3 to both sides because an absolute value is considered a grouping. So now 2/3 x minus 4 equals 18. So we're going to solve this one. And conversely, we're going to solve 2/3 x minus 4 will equal negative 18. So now, we can't put minus 3 equal to negative 15 because this 3 is here. So this, once you get your equation down to your absolute value and you get rid of your absolute value, this is the one you can solve. You can't use this one because it won't work. Okay, so you need the absolute value equal to some number. You can't have anything added or subtracted outside of the absolute value symbols. So that's just a hint. And I just forgot that, and I made that mistake when I was trying to solve them. So if we solve by the inverse, and cancel, 1x, positive 1x. Equals 33. You stick 33 in there. 2 times 11 is 22 minus 4 is 18. 18 minus 3 is 15. So now we have to use this one. We add 4. We add 4. 2/3 x equals negative 14. Times it by 3/2, which is the inverse. It all works out. You get positive 1. X will equal negative 18. You stick negative 18 in here. Uh, 21, I'm sorry, not 18, 21. 3 times 7 is 21. I'm moving too fast. I'm making mistakes. All right. So if you stick 21 and multiply by 2/3, you'll get 14. Negative 14 minus 4 is negative 18, but the absolute value of negative 18 is positive 18, and it leaves you with the same thing. So when you solve absolute value, you will get two answers. And remember, the absolute value will give you a positive answer and a negative answer, and this is why you need two answers.